let's talk to Chase first. Chase,
Right.
you are live on the show. Oh, let me get rid of Atheopagan here. Chase, can you hear us?
Yeah, what's happening, buddy?
Hey, hey. What do you want to talk about?
All right, so I guess the question is, is it dangerous to believe that God controls everything? Because I'm a little worried about my parents and their thought process. They're Calvinist Christians who believe in predestination, and so they believe that God ordained everything. And I'm not exactly sure what that means, but it's either God made or either God made it all or allowed it all as part of His plan. So from cancer and killer tornadoes to which team won the football game and who is president. But they're mad that a Democrat is president, so it seems inconsistent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well,
Hmm.
I don't even know where to start with that. Do you got something, Elliot, or do you want me to
Yeah,
hop
I
in?
mean, kind of, just because I'll touch back on what we were just kind of finishing up with Atheopagan is, there's part of me that can just real quickly answer yes to the question. Is there something dangerous? Is there something problematic of having this thought? Like, yeah, because again, truth seems to be the way that gets us the closest to the best stuff, right? All the stuff that we seem to like, and that just doesn't seem to be evidently true, right? So if that's the way that you navigate your whole life, problems. But from there, I can also see some problems too, in the sense of, if you truly believe that like all of this is completely ordained and happening because like God is actively making it happen right now, then as you watch your house burn, like, why would you stop it? Like, why would you be motivated to prevent any bad things from happening to yourself or others? Because like, uh, how dare you try to understand the infallibility of God, the omniscience of God, and say that him burning down your house was a bad thing. Him giving you cancer was a problem. How dare you, you know? So absolutely I can see the problems there. What you said at the end though, Chase, I think is where you find the vast majority of people, where despite them saying that in some capacities, there are other very clear instances where they're not being consistent with that. So it's like, well, God does all this, right? So like, God must have been really super cool with us having abortions in the United States for a really long time in safe medical environments. Like, apparently God is also okay with 12-year-olds that are, attacked by family members and assaulted, and they have to give birth too. So like, I don't know, you tell me what to do with that. Um yeah, it is. I would probably try to demonstrate the inconsistency that they're using this method. But again, yeah, I think in general it's pretty easy to say there's danger here in thinking that.
Yeah,
I gotta
yeah,
ask, Chase, do your parents have a problem with you not believing?
yeah. I mean, they think it's all in God's hands, though. Like they hope that I'm one of the elect, and
Mm.
that I'll still come around eventually.
I I gotta say that I cannot think of a more evil God than one
And the
like
Calvin.
that. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's this concept in that Calvinist predestination viewpoint of, pots made to be broken, right? That God has created people who, according to a divine plan, are made to go to hell and suffer forever.
yeah, but it's biblically supported. Like, there's a lot of Bible verses
Yeah,
about
sure,
predestination. Um, so I can
sure.
see, like, I kind of feel like if you're going to be a Christian, if you're going to be taking the Bible literally, then you should probably be a predestination believing Calvinist.
Well, yes, and because there's also, you also have God intervening through the power of
Mhm.
prayer. So God is not very consistent in the Bible. So I wouldn't necessarily say that that is the only viewpoint that you could take, but it's definitely
Sure.
one of them. And I think that that particular view of God is one that even if you did believe in them, that God would definitely be at the bottom on the list of gods that are worth worshiping.
Yeah, because not only
Yeah,
does he make pots to be broken, right? Pots that know from the very beginning that their intention is to be broken. But apparently this God also makes pots that genuinely believe, based on the potter's work and how he uses them, genuinely believes that they are not to be broken, and yet will ultimately find out that they were originally designed to just be tortured in hell for it. Like it was really weird. It's a really weird thing because yeah, that God is like
Yeah.
actively playing tricks on most of the people that think they're following him. So not a great character. But
No, I don't know if we addressed
what?
anything that you
I thought
were
we
after.
sort of did.
Yeah,
We
did
sorta
we?
did.
What do you think, Chase?
yeah, no, I think this has been a great call. Yeah, I think just summing it up, my position is just that it seems like it might be dangerous, this kind of thought process, because it seems to encourage the opposite of critical thinking, like, and that can be problematic, like you guys were talking about, and it can enable people to not care about serious problems like human rights or the climate crisis because it's all part of God's plan or something like this. Um, but you know, there's a lot of, like, I think this Calvinist viewpoint of believing in predestination and stuff to this degree is rare within Christianity. It might be like maybe 20%. I don't know, but most Christians, I think, don't believe quite that full on into it. But this does have a tendency of popping up in regular Christian beliefs of, to some degree, at least maybe not the whole predestination of like who goes to heaven or hell, but more the involvement of God in our lives. That God is interacting in some positive ways to guide you or something like this. But I guess he's also neglecting the dying child who's suffering slowly.
Yeah, I mean, I I think it like, speaking to the commonness of it, you are just going to get views like that all over the place. There's the Calvinists. You also have non-Trinitarians who think that Father, Son, and Holy Ghost are not all one being.
Right.
You have people who, hey, non-Trinitarian is a thing. Also, you have I actually knew a Christian pastor who was real broken up because he truly, sincerely believed that there is no hell.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that is a whole thing
There's-
as well. Annihilationism, I believe,
There's
is the
good
Yeah.
biblical references to support that thought, though. There really are. So, yeah, I get it.
yeah, or that there is just no afterlife. Yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah.
So, I do appreciate that you're at least listening to your parents and meeting them where they are.
Yeah.
And you are listening to the fact that they believe in a really, really vile God, which really sucks. I'm sorry that you're dealing with it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. And I'm trying not to interact with them too much on this issue or on politics anymore, because it often leads to a fight and stuff, and there's not much a likelihood of me changing them or them changing me. I mean, I've undergone a lot of changes, but like they've been on this path for many decades, and they're sure in it. It seems, so we just try to just play Scrabble, just play with the dogs and hang out.
yeah,
And that connection, man, seriously, I mean this, Chase, from the bottom of my heart. That can never be undervalued. That connection is so deeply important because for so many people, we can listen to the arguments all day, right? We can read the books, we can watch the debates, but truly, for so many of us, what will help shift us away from bad ideas is being around good people, demonstrating how those good and better ideas lead to good and better behavior. And that's what you're doing,
Yeah.
man. You're showing that you care
Yeah.
about
And
them and that they matter.
as long as it's good for you. If it's
Right,
if
right.
it, yeah, if it's hurting you,
Right. You've
Well,
got
I mean,
got a
I-
limited number of spoons, brother. So make sure you're using them wisely. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that we approach the subjects every now and then very lightly, and move on soon thereafter instead of really diving too deep into an issue. But I think it's a much better relationship than we used to have, and that's good. And I used to be a believer. In my early 20s, I came to this similar type belief where I was thinking, that God was talking to me through coincidences, like giving me messages of approval and encouragement and things like this. But then I started to think about that slowly dying child who's not being helped, and like it seems like it was really like self-centered of me and delusional for me to be thinking that this God is helping me while not helping the child who's honestly more deserving of help than I am.
Oh yeah, I remember as a kid, I didn't think twice when my mom thanked Jesus for the good parking spot when we went grocery shopping, and yet the first time somebody brought up to me that there are starving, dying children who are not getting helped while my mom is getting the premium parking spot at the grocery store, that really shook it.
God's got some weird priorities.
Really fucking weird, yeah. But Chase, thank you for calling in.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call, guys. You have a wonderful day.
You too.
Yeah, you too, man. Hey, and Chase, if you're still watching, you still hear it. Give us some updates. Like call back in, and or just show up in the Discord and post some stuff. Let us know how it goes. Good, bad, whatever. If it's good, we'll be there to cheer and support, and if it's bad, we'll commiserate and support. So
see, that is one reason why I absolutely love the Discord. For people who are watching, Elliot is here helping, volunteering, and in the Discord most weeks. And so if you want to join that conversation that's part of a larger community, we are building it, and we'd love to see you there.